Two families, same budget, around £12,000. One buys a 2016 Citroën Grand C4 Picasso with 55,000 miles on the clock, full service history and a new MOT. The other picks up a 2014 Toyota Prius Plus with 58,000 miles, 7 seats and a full service record from a Toyota main dealer. 3 years later, the Citroën has generated a new turbocharger at £1,800, a gearbox service on a unit sold as sealed for life that left the car undrivable until an independent specialist addressed it, and an electrical fault that 2 different garages have spent collective hours failing to trace. The Toyota Prius Plus has needed 2 sets of tyres and a set of wiper blades. That isn't a lucky versus unlucky story, it's a pattern, and it runs across the entire UK family car and MPV market. European manufacturers built genuine dominance in the family car segment through the 1990s and 2000s. The Renault Scenic reinvented the class. The Citroën Picasso brought packaging ideas that nobody else had thought of. The Volkswagen Touran offered German build quality at a sensible price point. What followed that high point was platform consolidation, cost reduction, and a generation of engines, gearboxes, and electronics that have left UK families with bills nobody budgeted for when they signed the purchase agreement. Asian manufacturers filled the gap they left: Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, Honda, not by building exciting cars, but by building cars that simply don't generate the bills at the same rate. If you're in the market for a family car and you want the evidence laid out match by match, stay with me. If you've already been on the receiving end of a European family car repair bill, subscribe now and ring the notification bell. This channel covers exactly this territory every single week. The Citroën Grand C4 Picasso arrived in 2013 with a kind of interior design that won magazine awards. 7 seats, panoramic glass roof, a touchscreen dashboard at a time when touchscreens in this class were still unusual. It looked like progress, and at launch, it felt like it. Under the bonnet, it carried the 1.2 PureTech petrol, the wet timing belt engine documented extensively by French consumer protection agencies, with a rebuild cost sitting between £2,500 and £4,200, and failure cases appearing from 25,000 miles, on a unit that Stellantis rated as maintenance-free. Or the 1.6 THP turbo petrol, a unit shared with BMW that generated carbon buildup on intake valves through direct injection, degrading performance and prompting expensive cleaning or injector work before 60,000 miles on cars that follow the manufacturer's service schedule correctly. The 2.0 Blue HDI diesel offered better inherent reliability, but paired it with a diesel particulate filter that clogs in the urban stop-start driving this car spends most of its working life doing. The ETG6 automated single-clutch gearbox, Citroën's 6-speed interpretation of a 2-pedal drivetrain, provided the kind of slow, hesitant, occasionally violent progress that led owners to believe the car was mechanically failing. Many of them were right. Clutch actuator failures from around 50,000 miles ran to £900 at a Citroën specialist. Software recalibrations required to prevent the gearbox from hunting between ratios demanded dealer visits that out-of-warranty owners absorbed directly. The Toyota Prius Plus ran from 2012 to 2020. 7 seats, hybrid powertrain, no timing belt in the system. It runs a chain. Toyota's hybrid battery warranty runs to 15 years in UK specification, renewed annually through Toyota's hybrid health check program across European markets, which owner satisfaction surveys reported no systematic reliability issues across the entire model run. The hybrid battery that buyers feared before purchase proved, in practice, to be among the most durable components in the car. Toyota had been fitting this technology since 1997 and refined it through multiple generations before the Prius Plus arrived. Replacement hybrid battery packs, for the cases that needed them, run to around £1,500 through independent specialists. That's less than the Grand C4 Picasso's timing belt rebuild on the engine sold as needing no maintenance. The Ford S-Max launched in 2006 to genuine praise. Dynamic for a 7-seater, genuinely engaging to drive, distinctive enough in appearance to stand out in a segment where appearance was rarely prioritized. Ford understood what European families wanted in a large estate. The second generation arrived in 2015 with updated EcoBoost petrol engines and the PowerShift dual-clutch gearbox that had already generated its own legal proceedings in the United States. The 2.0 EcoBoost petrol in the second generation S-Max produced strong power figures. In service, it generated carbon deposits on intake valves consistent with all direct injection engines running extended service intervals, alongside a block design flaw. Coolant slits between cylinders causing the block to crack and leak coolant directly into the combustion chamber that appeared in warranty claims and independent workshop reports from the mid-2010s onwards. Documented in Ford's own technical service bulletins, the fix isn't a quick gasket swap, it's a brand new short block. You're effectively buying half an engine. The 2.0 TDCi diesel, Ford's main volume engine in this application, brought EGR valve failures from around 60,000 miles, particulate filter clogging on urban cycle cars, and turbocharger failures through variable vane actuators from a supplier whose quality control proved inconsistent across this production window. Turbo replacement 1,400 to 2,100 pounds fitted, EGR valve 400 to 700 pounds, injector servicing at 300 pounds per unit. Timing belt at 100,000 miles. Stacked against a purchase price that looks attractive on a used forecourt, the total ownership cost picture looks nothing like the brochure suggested. And that's before the legal story. In 2014, Ford faced class action litigation in the United States over the DPS 6 dry clutch powershift gearbox fitted to Focus and Fiesta models. Internal Ford documents produced in that litigation showed the company held data on fluid contamination and clutch shudder from 2010. The US settlement reached approximately $35 million for American claimants. The S-Max and Galaxy carried a different unit, the 6 DCT 450 wet clutch powershift, which fails through a separate mechanism. Shattered plastic damper springs clogging the filter and starving the clutch packs of fluid. Different gearbox, same brand, same outcome for the owner. In the UK, trading standards investigations into both units produced reprimands rather than compensation. UK owners absorbed costs that their American counterparts at least partially recovered. The Kia Sorento is in its second generation, sold in the UK from 2015 to 2020. Ran a 2.2 CRDI diesel developed and manufactured in-house by Kia, backed by the 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty offered because Kia has a trust deficit to close. Which owner surveys rated the Sorento significantly above the class average for reliability across the 2016 to 2020 model years. The 2.2 diesel appeared in none of the recall notices that affected Ford's 2.0 TDCi across this production period. ADAC breakdown data placed the Sorento in the top third of its class for drivetrain dependability through 2022. 7 seats, similar used price to the S-Max at equivalent age and mileage. The difference sits entirely in what follows the purchase. The Renault Grand Scenic held a strong position in UK family car sales through the 2000s and into the 2010s. The third generation, running from 2009 to 2016, offered the kind of practical interior that made it a logical purchase for families prioritizing space over prestige. TÜV inspectors in Germany, running their equivalent of the MOT, documented corrosion extensively across Grand Scenic 3 models in wetter northern European conditions. Sill corrosion, rear arch corrosion, and subframe rust appearing before 100,000 miles. The UK climate qualifies as wetter northern European conditions. The 1.2 TCE petrol, introduced to the Scenic range from 2012, generated timing chain wear from 50,000 miles. A Renault-developed unit carrying chain tensioner issues that required early replacement to prevent the kind of valve damage that turns a chain service into an engine rebuild. The DCI diesel units brought EGR and DPF issues consistent with the broader French diesel market. Electrical reliability on the Grand Scenic 3 placed it below average in every which survey covering the model run. Infotainment faults, central locking failures, window regulator issues appearing before the car reached 70,000 miles. The Kia Carens, UK market from 2013 to 2019, offered 7 seats and a comparable footprint with one meaningful difference in the ownership experience. The 7-year warranty covered the failures the Scenic owners paid for out of pocket. Kia's 1.7 CRDI diesel, a straightforward unit without the Renault TCE chain tensioner issues, generated fewer unscheduled workshop visits per 10,000 miles than any equivalent European family car in the same segment across the Carens model run, according to ADAC breakdown frequency data from the same period. Residual values reflect the underlying reality. A 2016 Kia Carens with 70,000 miles sits within 500 to 800 pounds of an equivalent 2016 Renault Grand Scenic and current UK used prices. The Renault generates more repair visits to reach that mileage. The Kia arrives with the remaining warranty, in many cases still active, attached to the purchase. ADAC, the German motoring organization whose breakdown data covers the largest single sample of European car operation anywhere in the world, published reliability rankings for family cars and MPVs covering 2015 to 2023. Toyota vehicles placed in the top quartile across every category they competed in. Citroën family cars ranked in the bottom quartile for electrical reliability and below average for drivetrain dependability across the same period. Kia placed top quartile in 7 of 8 categories measured. Ford S-Max ranked below the class average for both drivetrain and electronics reliability. The DVSA's MOT failure data tells the same story. Toyota models consistently post lower first MOT failure rates than equivalent European models competing in the same segments. Kia's failure rates track similarly. The 7-year warranty that Kia offered as a trust rebuilding exercise in the mid-2010s forced internal engineering standards that now exceed several European competitors on objective measured outcomes. The differential isn't marginal, it's systematic, measurable, and consistent across every independent dataset applied to this comparison. The Volkswagen Touran occupies the premium end of the family MPV market in the UK, a positioning that its price reflects and that its reliability in specific configuration partially justifies. The caveat matters here because the Touran splits into two cars depending on how it's specified. The Touran with a DQ200 dry dual-clutch gearbox, sealed for life subject to global recall, covering 1.6 million units for shuddering, juddering, and complete clutch pack failure, generates the same repair pattern as every other Volkswagen Group vehicle carrying that unit. Mechatronic failure at £1,200 in parts, full replacement at £2,100 to £3,400. The Touran with a manual gearbox and the 1.5 TSI petrol is a different ownership experience entirely. Mechanics who know the range point bias to the manual without hesitation. The problem is that manual gearbox Tourans represent a minority of UK stock. Most buyers chose the DSG for convenience, without knowing what they were choosing. The Hyundai Tucson in its third generation, sold in the UK from 2015 to 2020, competed for the same family budget in a 5-seat crossover format. The 7-year warranty applied. Which surveys from 2017 to 2021 placed the Tucson above the class average for reliability. ADAC breakdown data showed no systematic drivetrain failures across the 1.6T GDI petrol or 2.0 CDI diesel variants in this generation. The honest summary? A manual gearbox Touran is a good car. A DQ200 Touran is a risk that depends on whether you know which one you're looking at. A Tucson is a good car regardless of gearbox specification. In the used market, where the buyer frequently can't verify the Touran's full service history, the Tucson's consistency across its range carries a practical value that doesn't appear on a comparison spreadsheet. Which research covering 500 UK family car owners, comparing European brand MPVs and family estates against Asian brand equivalents over a 5-year period, found the average unplanned repair cost differential reached £1,840 per vehicle in favour of the Asian cars. Not total running cars, unplanned repairs specifically. The bills that arrive without warning, outside service schedules, outside warranty windows, £1,840 over 5 years on vehicles that cost between £10,000 and £18,000 to purchase. That differential represents a meaningful percentage of the original purchase price sitting in workshop invoices that the equivalent Toyota, Kia, or Hyundai didn't generate. The families who bought European MPVs didn't make naive choices. They chose well-reviewed, intelligently designed cars from manufacturers with decades of European market presence. The distance between what those manufacturers sold and what the ownership experience delivered is the story this entire segment has been telling since the early 2010s. The UK used family car market sits most clearly between £8,000 and £18,000, where the Asian reliability advantage delivers its clearest financial benefit and where the cars below represent genuine value rather than compromised specification. The Toyota Prius Plus from 2014 to 2020. Hybrid drivetrain, chain timing, no major known failure modes across the model run. Hybrid battery warranty coverage through Toyota main dealers in most ownership scenarios. The Kia Carens from 2015 to 2019. CRDI diesel or 1.6 GDI petrol. 7-year warranty history visible in used purchase. ADAC top third reliability. The Kia Sorento from 2015 to 2020. Larger footprint, proper 7-seat packaging. 2.2 CRDI diesel with a reliability record the S-Max doesn't approach. The Hyundai Tucson from 2016 to 2020. 5-seat format, above average reliability across all drivetrain variants, no gearbox lottery based on spec choice. The European exception worth naming. The Seat Alhambra and Volkswagen Touran in 2.0 TDI specification with either the DSG6 wet clutch gearbox or a manual from 2015 to 2019. The DSG6 is a fundamentally different unit from the DQ200 dry clutch. It carries a significantly better durability record and operates on a different mechanical principle. These are the exceptions in the European family car market. They demonstrate that the problem isn't European engineering in principle, it's the specific decisions made around the DQ200, the 1.2 PureTech, the EcoBoost bore scoring and the EGS, decisions that didn't have to be made the way they were. The European family car industry produced some genuinely impressive machines. The original Renault Scenic reinvented what a family car could look like. The Citroën Picasso brought spatial intelligence to a segment that badly needed it. What followed was the bean counters taking over from the engineers. They prioritized cheap plastic over long-term durability and passed the difference to the families who trusted the brand. The Asian manufacturers that now outsell European MPVs across UK used car market surveys didn't win that position through pricing alone. They won it through consistent engineering decisions, honest service intervals, drivetrains developed and tested in-house rather than purchased off a shared platform shelf, warranties calibrated to reflect what the engineering would actually support. Which family car purchase hurt your wallet the most? And which Asian alternative do you wish you'd bought instead? Tell me below, because the comment section on this channel has been building towards this argument for some time, and I want to know if the evidence matches what you've already lived through.